I don't know about you guys, but Trench Crusade is definitely something that has snuck up on me. I feel very ill-informed about it. I didn't really follow the progress of its development or know much about it until the Kickstarter literally launched and we just started seeing videos flying out everywhere. Now, obviously it is met with a lot of popularity. There is some very big iconic names backing this project. Guys who designed it, built it and painted, the guy who created Mordheim is involved. So obviously it's off to a very good start. Its Kickstarter funding was astronomical. So we can only expect this game to grow and get bigger and stronger. So once everything started to come out and I started to focus on it a little bit, I do definitely love the aesthetics of it. It's a very beautiful looking game, a very, very cool concept, great setting, and the miniatures that have been produced so far are stellar. So with ever being that interested in it, I thought it might as well make a video, get a model painted up. I contacted the guys from Trench Crusade and see if they could send me out some files, and they were very kind and sent out the files for two particular teams, gangs, or cults, I don't know what they're called actually, that I can get models printed from and get them painted. So I'm going to do that in today's video. I'm going to be painting up a miniature and talking you through my thoughts and feelings on Trench Crusade at the very beginning from the perspective of someone that knows nothing about Trench Crusade. So hopefully we can go on this little journey together and learn what this game is all about. The reason my kill team scenery is on it, I was obviously getting my board ready to do my intro like I'm doing now, and the last thing I was doing was kill team and getting the Vulcus scenery all painted up. And before I packed it away, I kind of stopped and took a look at it and was like, this actually would make a pretty good table to play some Trench Crusade on, an old abandoned destroyed outpost that's been fought over time and time again. So I decided to leave it up. Maybe we'll get some cinematic shots of the model I painted up around this board at the end. So let's see. Before I do get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my patrons. All of you guys keep this channel going. Without you, I literally could not continue. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you guys are interested in getting involved with that, there's links in the description below. Some of the benefits for becoming a member, as of course, getting access to a private Discord server where you can talk to me on a daily basis about your hobby and get involved in all the different events that we run over there. And of course, I give you guys an extra custom video every single week. So if you want more content from me, Patreon is the best way to do it. Links down below. Okay, without further ado, let's dive in and have a look at Trench Crusade. So, like I talked about in the intro, Trench Crusade is something that I'm only just dipping my toe into, which is quite refreshing. I am quite versed in, Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, and all those kind of bits and pieces. I could talk your ear off for weeks about any of those topics, but Trench Crusade is an entirely new experience for me. And obviously, lots of miniature agnostic style games have come out before, and new game system and stuff, but nothing I have seen has come out with it already such a powerful, like organized story. Everything is broken down, the lore is there, and it's really rich and it's really engaging. It's really awesome. And I'm already starting to delve deep into the background and stuff like that. So I am one of those people that can't be mean to NPCs in games. I like being the good guy, the stoic hero, which means I tend to lead to more loyalist forces when it comes to playing games like this. So that's why the new Antioch warband is the one that got drawn to, the one that stand against the forces of hell and all the heretical incursions that go alongside that. Let's very quickly go into some of the lore taken from their wiki and talk about what this particular warband is and where they come from. So they come from New Antioch. So New Antioch, officially the Principality of New Antioch, is a Christian city-state which functions as the church's main and only line of defense against heretic forces in the Levant. The city started to be built, or more accurately rebuilt, in 1559, and the construction and fortification works were finished in 1595. The principality is located where the old city of Antioch once stood, in the northeastern edge of the Mediterranean Sea, and exclusively borders lands controlled by heretic forces. The city and all its armed forces fall under the command of the Duke of New Antioch, a role currently being occupied by Duke Constantine. First of all, Constantine being used as a name, the Duke Constantine, just sounds incredible. I don't know whether they have plans for a character to come out, like special characters based in this game system. I do hope that they do. I mean, one of the exciting things about this game system is the amount of money that got backed means they have this kind of reservoir of money that they can pump into design new characters and new. So someone commented on my Instagram post the other day and mentioned the idea that perhaps small mechanized units could potentially be introduced into this game, walkers or small tanks and stuff. And I just think in this theme, in this setting, that would look incredible. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what happened to the New Antioch city and what it currently stands as now. So After the Act of Ultimate Heresy, which is the Knights Templar, had their heretical moment, opened up the gates of hell in Jerusalem, and Jerusalem became basically the beacon of hell. Everything poured out. It's basically the bad. So that's what the Act of Ultimate Heresy is. Sure, there's a better way of saying it than I just did, but that gives you a rough idea. So after that Ultimate Heresy and the subsequent incursion of heretics in the Levant, the city of Antioch was fortified and became a focal point of resistance against the forces of hell in 1102. Antioch continued to stand as a strong point of the church's defense until 1545, when it was utterly destroyed by a mysterious infernal weapon. Even with the city's destruction and the lethal demonic essence emanating from the crater that was left behind, faithful forces held on and continued to fight as the first line of defense against heretic forces. In 1559, the Sword Congress of Vienna, first of all, what a name, I'm going to say that again, the Sword Congress of Vienna, awesome, agreed to rebuild and fortify the city, and that a yearly tithe is to be sent to the new city-state by all Christian nations. 36 years later, in 1595, the construction and fortification works were completed. From then onwards, the city of New Antioch continued to stand tall as the principal defense of the church and all its faithful against the forces of hell. So basically, this is where the good guys hold out. This is where they hold the line. This is their hot gate. This is where they're no more, and they will stop the forces of hell at all costs, which very much speaks to me. The miniature that I decided to go for my video here is obviously this awesome, just like a line trooper. He's got like a trench shotgun, which obviously suits the setting, but he's also got a nice breaching shield. Very cool. Now, I was going through, the different hashtags on Instagram and like pictures on Google Images of Trench Crusade, trying to pick a suitable color scheme for me to go for. And I found the majority of schemes being that kind of traditional grimdark, khakis or greens, or they look like Cadians, or they look like Krieg, or they, you know what I mean? Those kind of color schemes. And I have a Cadian army and I have a Krieg army. So I wasn't too keen to dive into that world. And I'm going to say something now, which is, a lot of people are not going to like this, but I'm not a big fan of the Blanchitsu style of war games. To me, everything looked like it's being looked at through, a browny yellow filter. There's no bright colors. There's no, nothing grabbing my attention. And for me, that's not interesting. It's not something I'm excited to paint. So I did see someone online. I'm sorry I forgot their name, but they painted up a beautiful trooper in this like chipped red armor. He looked absolutely beautiful. He had like a mastiff with him. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, this is one of those miniature agnostic style games. There's no set way of doing anything. There's no set color schemes. Just do what makes you happy. And what makes me happy is the color orange. So I said, why not? So I broke out this trooper and I decided to do him in some kind of rustic old orange scheme, like more like a rusty brown orange than anything like bright and crazy, not like a Space Marine would look like in this color scheme. And I just went to work and had a lot of fun doing it. Now, I did understand about 80% of the way through painting this miniature that I was creating a religious warband as an Irishman that focuses solely on the color orange. For those of you out there who don't understand the faux pas in doing that, some of my friends have stopped speaking to me. But what are you going to do? He's got a shotgun. He's going to kneecap you. But anyway, we'll move away from that particular topic now before bad things happen. I'm still going to stick with it. I really like the scheme. Like I said, orange is my favorite color. So I'm going to go for like orange robes, chipped orange and battered shield, black faceplate. He's going to give him a Templar cross across the front of his shield. And then just rich browns, really worn leathers and stuff for all of his other gear. He's got some gaiters on wrapping around his ankles, and then the traditional tan, his bedroll is in there as well. And this is just an awesome, just basic line trooper miniature. And I just think it's so cool. I love the idea of that worn trooper. He turns a corner in a trench and it's not a normal enemy combatant at the other end. It could be like a hellhound or a demon or just anything could be standing on the other end of that trench, firing off shots or charging towards him. And he's valiantly raising his shield and combat shotgun, pumping off round after round, trying to stop this incursion. It's very evocative imagery. Something that's definitely tweaking my interest. Hopefully you guys are kind of excited about it too. Obviously when I kind of veer off my standard stuff that I do on my channel, I can only really continue doing that stuff if the videos are doing well. If those videos are getting lots of views and lots of engagement and stuff like that, and then they pay the bills, and then I can freely make more of them. Where if the videos fall on their face, that means they're not making me money and they're not paying the bills, and that means unfortunately I have to go back and do other things as well too, to make sure I stay on top of things, which is the pitfall of being a creator. You guys think it's all rainbows and lollipops and free toys. It's a bit harder than you think, and we definitely don't get to do whatever we want if we want to make a successful career out of it. So yeah, so like I said, I'm still powering through getting some of the other highlights on the browns and stuff. I've left out the highlighting blacks too, like, so I've done all this scheme before. I'm not talking through paints or anything like that, but I'm definitely enjoying it. I've gotten about, they've sent me about half of the warband of the Antioch, the files for it. So I don't have all of the files for those miniatures just yet. I will have to beg, borrow, and steal to get my hands on the rest of the files for the warband. And I've also gotten a second warband as well. I can't remember which one I asked for. Oh, that's right. It was the Heretical Legion is the other ones. They're just so, they're just awesome. Some incredible pieces in there. So I haven't actually opened those files yet to see which files from that warband they've sent me and which they haven't. That Sin Eater has been sent to me, then I potentially would like to do some video content around that. The War Wolf is also nightmare fuel and karma. And then some of the standard heretical troopers are also just gorgeous, and I would love to make them as well. So once again, I'm going to go for more bright and vibrant schemes. Oh, I say bright and vibrant. They're not actually bright and vibrant if you're looking at the orange I'm doing here. It just means that when I do like a grim, dark, trenchy style board, the warbands are going to pop off the board and it's going to look really awesome. So at least that's my goal. So like I said, I'm going to reach into my box of transfers. I pull out a Black Templar transfer sheet and pull out a nice Black Templar cross to apply to his shield. Now, there's no real space on any of the models to put crosses, so this guy will be the only one situated correctly. Now, normally, I put transfers on very flat surfaces, and by flat, I mean like flat colored, like Space Marine armor and stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of detail and a lot of kind of depth and texture put into this shield. And I need to blend those colors together. So it's something I haven't really done before, but after I've applied the transfer entirely, I've put my contrast media on top to blend it together. I am going to paint back over it with my kind of mid-tone black and my highlight gray to kind of make that blend into the shield a little bit more. Then we're going to add some chip damage and some weathering to it. And then that will pretty much be the end of painting this, this awesome miniature. I'm sure a lot of people watching this have backed the Kickstarter. A lot of people backed the Kickstarter. So if you did, I want to know which warband you guys have chosen. Why as well? Because obviously I'm trying to find as much information. What excites people? Obviously it was an STL day the other day, so you guys have finally started to get your hands on files, and there's going to be so much more Trench Crusade miniatures appearing on Instagram as everyone finally gets to dive in and get them done, which I'm so excited to see. And it's just going to be a good time, I think. So yeah. Here I am very carefully, like I said, blocking in and getting some highlights on the Templar cross. And then, like I said, I'm going to use a sponge technique to add a little bit of chipping with some black paint. Then go back in with silver and a nice fine brush and just paint back in on those little chips a little bit more, edges and the like. Make it look like the shield is being used. You know, there's lots of small rounds being pinged off it and other shotgun rounds getting deflected from it. So this is a well-worn, this is not a symbolic shield, it's used in war, and I really like it. So here is the final result of my first dipping of the toe into Trench Crusade miniature. I'd love to know what your thoughts are on the scheme that I went for. Do you like it? What other schemes do you think I could do? What other warbands would you like to see me delve into for this game system? And is, you know, a warband or a battle report for this game system something you guys would like to see? Like I said in the beginning, I already have lots of kill team terrain that I think would suit playing a game. So all I would really need to do is get the 2 warbands painted up and then break out my camera and play some games. So if that's something that interests you, please do let me know. I am very curious. Here's the example of the scenery that I already have painted, which I think suits the Trench Crusade setting quite well. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one and you're hungry for more, because I wouldn't mind making some more videos on it. I very much enjoyed it. And there we have it. My first Trench Crusade miniature is now painted and ready to fight back the hordes of hell and defend himself. So a lot of fun, beautiful miniatures. They're all, like I said, 3D prints. This miniature in my hand now is only 3 pieces. I just had to put on his shield and his head, and he was ready to rock and roll. As you've seen at the beginning, I do have a bunch of other miniatures printed off for this warband that I'm quite looking forward to getting stuck into. Hopefully you liked my custom color scheme, although creating a religious organization based around the color orange and being an Irishman is dangerous territory. So whoops. But maybe we can see past that. We'll see. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. If you did, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know what your thoughts and feelings are on Trench Crusade, especially people who haven't been following Trench Crusade feverishly, like I know a lot of people have. Obviously they have their reasons too, but people who it kind of sprung up on them like it did on me, your thoughts and feelings on it as it currently stands. If you're in the same boat as me, I want to know what your thoughts are, and if you're going to be diving in and getting involved with it yourself. Thank you very much for sticking around at the end of the video. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and check out the Patreon. Thank you guys so much as always. I'll see you in the next one.